my best friend. Didn't care about the rules, good on the weekends. I'll be in fools, drifting to deep space. So brave and so stupid, just like the movies. I was gonna stay in the fight with you, just thinking we would do this until we couldn't do it. Each and every high, every night with you, you and me so clueless. We were just broken, shattered, singing along to nothing matters. Stray around like nighttime rumors. We were in too deep. In your worn-out sweaters, thinking we'll be young forever. Driving in your mom's old hatchback, and we were in too deep.
So here is the tricky thing about space. At first, we seem to never have enough. But then when we do, we find these spaces where they just become catch-alls, whether that's a closet, a garage, or for me, it's this room. It's our office. It started off just kind of throwing a couple things here and there into this space. And then 2 years later, somehow it's turned into this. So if you have an extra junk space and wherever that space may be, then hopefully this will give you some motivation to get up and get started little by little. I can't say that I am proud of how bad this space has gotten, but if you have been a longtime subscriber of mine, then you'll know that I've never actually shared this space in full detail to this extent. The transformation and the before and after in this video is extreme, and I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that it was super easy. It did take me several days working at it little by little, but let me tell you, I am more proud of myself in getting this space done than I ever felt being embarrassed of how bad it was. So in this video, I will walk you guys through my step-by-step process that I took in order to clear out, declutter, reorganize, and make this space more functional for what we need it for. I'll share some easy tip as well as some game-changing products that were recommended by a subscriber. I do follow the home edit style, which is where I'm actually getting started first, which is clearing everything out of the room. So let's go ahead and get started.
Get this party started. I got the music playing loud. How you like my outfit? I have to say I'm kinda proud. I got my dancing shoes on, and I'm feeling dangerous. Let's get this party started. Yeah, we gon' be adventurous. We went to the club like we always do. This girl caught my eye, said, how do you do? She said, I am not interested, thank you. Then she left the room. Bartender, I'll have the usual. Give me the usual. I'll take the usual. I'll have the usual. Give me the usual.
If this is your very first time here, then welcome. My name is Michelle, and over the last couple of years, I would say like a year and a half to 2 years, I really started focusing on decluttering horrible spaces in my house, as well as cleaning a ton and kind of moving into a more homemaking role. Now, I do work from home full time after the pandemic. I have 2 daughters, a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I'm also currently 8 months pregnant with a baby boy. I didn't grow up as a super organized person, but like I said, through this journey, which I've basically recorded into several videos, I have gone on a organizing kick to try and make my spaces more functional. I have a ton of videos of different spaces that I've organized, and I would love for you to subscribe and join this journey with me if you're not already subscribed. As I'm doing any type of big project, I give you some real-time moments over on my Instagram, so you can follow me over there as well. So after decluttering and organizing several spaces in my home and going through this, what I call journey, Yes, I've watched all of the Netflix shows. Even I say I'm not a minimalist. I've watched the minimalist Netflix shows, the KonMari, the Home Edit. I've read the Home Edit book, as well as the Nikki Boyd's organization book. And I have found that my main thing is function over aesthetics. So you can go on Pinterest and look at all the beautifully organized spaces, but overall it has to function in order to maintain it. So for this space, which is actually going to serve multiple purposes and is our office, I kind of went with the Home Edit style. So what I did was actually take everything out of the room and categorized it in the hallway as I was removing it from the room. So now that my hallway is now the complete disaster, at least it's all categorized and spaced out so that I can start going through each pile and then start the decluttering process. So for a brief moment, everything in the room seems all cleared and cleaned out, but I'm actually just starting with the stuff that was on the floor. So the closet is still a mess, the drawers are still kind of a mess, and then I also need to go through the bookshelf later on. Now what's kind of different is I don't always organize every single space the exact same way. Like I don't always only use the Home Edit method. Sometimes with the Home Edit method, they have, if you're not familiar with that, they categorize it into 4 steps, which is one is to edit or actually declutter first. The second step is to then categorize it. The third step is to contain it or go out and get the correct amount of containers or organizing material that you need for the remaining stuff. And then the fourth step is to maintain it. When I did the mass declutter on my closet, I used more of like the KonMari method. So it really just depends. So here I'm not going into the exact steps. So one thing I did have was I had some organizing products already, and they kind of piled into this room. Like for example, this product is the Joan Axel shelf drawer thing from IKEA, and I've had this for a long time, just never got to putting it together. So that is what I am attempting to do now. So I went a little out of order on the Home Edit steps, which I took everything out and categorized it this way. Instead of like having this humongous pile of mess to go through, I'm just going to declutter by category first. So the piles are smaller and it makes it a little less overwhelming.
I don't get what this is about. You got my head spinning on my shoulders. I feel it burn inside of my chest. See the lines as they blur out. I can feel it knocking me out. You're bringing me higher and higher in every way. And all of my doubts, I can feel them, they're fading away. Oh, you're like a fantasy. I know this can't be real. I'm falling way down, all delusional.
So I mentioned earlier that I needed our office space to function in 4 different ways. Number 1 is as an actual office where we can keep our office supplies and things like that. Number 2 is where I would keep like all of my crafts, like the Cricut or like art and crafting supplies. The third thing is where I keep all of our like birthday party decorations. So after having kids, I mean, I go all out for birthday parties. So I have like a lot of different stuff that I use for birthday parties. And then the fourth thing, as you can see here, is like bags, like gift bags or gift wrap paper or anything for gift wrapping or giving away gifts. If there was anything in my piles that did not belong into those 4 categories, then I needed to find a different spot for them. One thing I was bad about keeping in this space was a lot of extra decor stuff. So if I were to switch out decor in the living room and I had like a faux flower pot, I'd just go and put in that room and then put the new one out. And then I wouldn't know what to do with the other one. I wouldn't know if I wanted to keep it, sell it, get rid of it, donate it. I think with the decluttering process, I realized that my main problem is I don't necessarily mind getting rid of things, but I just don't always know what to do with it. And what I mean by that is like, as I'm going through stuff, I'm like, okay, if I decide to sell this, then who am I going to sell it to? How are they going to get it? Do I put it on Facebook Marketplace? Do I have these people, know what my address is, come pick it up. Do I have to deliver it to them? And then I'm just like, that's already an overwhelming process. If I donate it, I'm like, who do I donate it to? Where do I take it? I've actually been turned down at Goodwill shelters before because they are already over full. So then that's more frustrating. How long is all this stuff going to sit in my car? If I'm donating it to a friend, then I have to reach out to a bunch of friends, see if anyone wants it, wait for them to come pick it up, or when do I have time to go drive it over to their house? So I know that I may be overthinking this, but I think that is my main issue with decluttering is like, what am I going to do with all of this stuff? Now, don't get me wrong, I definitely do donate and recycle and figure it out all later, but that is probably my struggle with like wanting to declutter is like, oh, I just don't know, the process of it isn't terrible to me. It's like the aftermath of what do I do? So leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you guys struggle with the same thing or if you have different struggles when it comes to decluttering.
I miss you. Take you off, I came in way too strong, cannot keep it low key. Got me drugged, your pheromones hit the roof, auto, your taste.
So to keep it super simple, I picked the 4 uses that I needed the room for, and then I also thought about how I was planning on organizing those spaces. So before I really didn't have any typical organization in that room, as you could see, just some bins and totes. So one of the things was how am I going to organize all of this gift wrapping stuff? So I ended up purchasing this, it's like a gift wrap holder. It holds wrapping paper and bows and everything like that you need with a couple of drawers. So I ordered that on Amazon, knowing that that's what I was going to use that for. And when I took it out of the box, there was like 100 pieces everywhere. And I was like, I'm already exhausted and still have a bunch of stuff to go through. So later on that night, I waited for Chris, my husband, to put it together. But here we do have a lot of gift bags that I just went through. Any ones that were already torn and ripped apart, they are all going into recycle. So that was like recycle. And then I still have some stuff in the office area that I need to go through. So I put stuff back in here until I can continue working on it. So later that night, Chris ended up putting this shelf thing together, and it is extremely helpful. So kind of going through some of the wrapping paper and bags and stuff, I thought that this thing was exactly what I needed to store wrapping paper, ribbon, as well as any of my craft items like my Cricut, so I can easily find it, and then just kind of utilize the drawers and see what I have and what I can store in this space.
Why ain't gravity pulling you in closer to me? Yeah, I lost you, but I need you, and you're off my radar now. I've lost you, yeah, I lost you, telling you that I need you, but you're off my radar now. I've lost you.
So if you hadn't noticed, most of my stuff was crammed at the bottom of an Amazon box, meaning that I probably didn't even know I had half the stuff in there, and I'm trying to make it visible so that I know what I have, I know where to find it, and I can use it more often. So as we are approaching the second day, my goal is to start bringing stuff out of the closet. I feel like I've made a lot of progress already, but this closet is just filled with stuff. So I'm going to follow the same kind of practice. I'm going to take everything out and categorize it and go through it as I'm categorizing it. So I may have some office supplies, I may have some gift wrapped bags, and I may have some other random stuff that I'm going to go through and try and see what I can edit out or declutter, and then put it into, or start already trying to organize it or contain it.
Yeah, his baby said that they don't got a future like that. It burns, so give him something worse to kill his head with, make him forget somehow. Might be that another day she would have wished he stayed, but they're done. Sorry's won't be enough this time. Yeah, he's calling all his friends to get some action and distract him right now. He's fine, got Lucy on the line, let's get this started. Where's the party tonight? I feel good
you might be wondering why I have an endless amount of gift bags. I would say because we just, over the time, like baby showers, kids' birthday parties, Christmas time, I actually went through and categorized each one. So like the very top shelf of that has like extra greeting cards or anything like that. The second shelf has boxes to put like clothes in, like if you're gift wrapping clothes, as well as tissue paper. The third shelf is like everything that is birthday party. And I will just tell you right now, I have 2 daughters and we are at a birthday party every weekend. No joke. Like we may have 2 birthday parties in one day. So, why do I have so many? It's because it's so easy to grab it, and everything was already gifted to us. I don't go out and buy all these. These are all left over from other birthday parties. So before, I had everything, whether it was birthday, baby shower, wedding, Christmas, was all piled into, see that purple box in the corner. And when I actually needed something for a birthday party, it would take me forever to go through and find the right size bag or whatever. So what I ended up doing was using just that shelf thing for birthdays, baby showers, and weddings. And then anything that was Christmas related, then it went into that hanging bag organizer. So I could use just that for Christmas, and then I would have this ready and available for birthday parties, weddings, showers, anything that I needed kind of last minute. Also, I did go through some of these bags that are everything is being recycled. So I have a couple of bags, boxes, things that I don't need that are going into the recycle bin. A lot of them were just ripped or damaged or bent or old. So that's why they ended up going there. So category 1 is done and organized, and that was all of my gift bags and gift wrapping gear. So my next step is to go through these 2 ginormous bins, which consist of anything that I used to craft with. So I used to craft kind of a lot. I would make wreaths, and I used to make like the girls' tutu skirts, Halloween costumes, anything. When I had a lot more time, I used to craft a lot more. But anything that was left over just kind of went in that bin, as well as any type of birthday party decorations that are left over. Now, like some of the birthday parties we had, for example, like Hawaiian, we reused things when we did Moana, which is like a Disney Hawaiian character. So we also had a luau. We also had like a pineapple party. So a lot of the stuff I do kind of reuse. And then as well as like all the princess parties that we've had, Elsa, we've had princess, and we reuse some of that stuff. So what I'm doing now is going through any of the birthday party type stuff that I can reuse. I'm going to condense it in a lot smaller box, and then I'm going to organize and categorize it so that if I were just needing to find, let's say, the Hawaiian leis, if I'm having a Hawaiian party or something, then I can easily just pull that out instead of going through this disaster of a mess that it is.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I'll ever figure out.
So my next category of things to go through and organize was birthday party decorations. And I had a humongous bin piled full of stuff. And when I took everything out of those bins, I realized that I had 2 main birthday party or party theme types. One was like princess, anything princess related. And the second was like Hawaiian tropical animal. So I ended up getting 2 bins and then categorized everything into those 2 piles. And then I just thought, how can I make this more manageable? So I just grabbed plastic sandwich bags and started organizing in there. I mean, super cheap, super affordable, and it actually worked out pretty perfectly. So within the 2 bins that I used, remember, one is for like princessy type decorations or whatever decorations that you need. One was categorized into animal, tropical type stuff. Then within that, I had organized everything else in plastic bags. And since these aren't anything that I use like on a regular basis or every single day, I plan to put these 2 tubs into the attic.
Keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, yeah. The sky is falling down.
So here is my next decluttered or recycled pile. I did try to get rid of boxes. So anything that was in a box, I wanted to get rid of, and I put like kind of sealed tight in those, Ziploc bags that I mentioned. Anything that I didn't need at the bottom of that bin, like half cut ribbon or something that I wouldn't use, probably paper and other types of trash that is recyclable. And then this freed up my humongous tub to use somewhere else. So now that those 2 tubs are organized, then my next step is category number 3, which is all of my crafting supplies. I would make anything from diaper cakes to wreaths to the girls' tutus, birthday party decorations, just all types of stuff, which is why I have so much stuff. So my goal here was once I got everything out, I made a Target run and bought 5 bins. But these were just the small bins to go in the top of the closet, but 3 of those I dedicated to craft stuff. And here I went one extra step to use the sandwich bags to organize it one level further. My subscriber shout out goes out to Melanie. She recommended these to me in a comment. Actually, after I put away a lot of my Christmas decor, I purchased these from Amazon based on her recommendation back in January, and I hadn't gone through anything that I needed organized. So these things are so awesome. So what you do is you buy them on Amazon. I think they were under $15, but it just depends on how many labels you need. And it's super easy to use. You just download the free app, and then you take pictures of the items that you plan to put in a bag or box or however you're storing them. And then you assign those pictures a specific QR code. When you assign that Elephant Tracks QR code, you can select the pictures that you want to store in that bag or that box, and then you have to create a name for the box. So I think I just put something like crafts or something simple like that. I went ahead and put the QR code label onto the box, and then if I want to know, if I forget what's in there, all I have to do is pull up the app, scan the QR code, and then it will show me everything that is in that box, meaning all the pictures that I assigned in that box will be within that QR code on the app. Now, if I'm looking for a very specific item in the box, I can just go to find item. And then, for example, here, I'm just going to click on yarn. And then what I can do is scan several different QR codes, and it will tell me if that's the right box or not. So for organizing things that you don't use every day or that often, then I feel like these Elephant Tracks labels are the coolest thing ever. Melanie, you are amazing for letting me know about them so that I can share them with everyone, because I think this makes it so much easier. I also plan to use these for anything else that I organize, especially like Christmas decor, or like I mentioned before, things that I'm not using every single day and won't remember which box certain items are in. So while I was going through one of those craft boxes is where I found a lot of my yarn. So this is why I like this little shelf thing, because it has a easy organizer for yarn. So you can just grab it and, cut it and go, and you don't have to go through different piles to try to find the right yarn that you want. So now I'm feeling really confident. I have majority of my craft stuff decluttered, which was category number 3. And category number 4 for this space is going to be actual office supplies. So again, I'm going to try and go through the rest of this closet and see what I can use for office supplies and what is not needed in this room. So I did want to take you down memory lane a little bit. This is actually a room in our downstairs area, and it always was an office, but we actually completely redid this space during the pandemic when I started working from home. We repainted, added new floors, and completely made over this room. So here's actually what it looked like before when I was starting to buy different office equipment. It still had carpet, and we were in the process of painting. And then as we, cleared everything out of the room, we actually hired someone. Chris ripped out all of the carpet and everything, and then we hired someone to come and lay these new tile floors. Unfortunately, after 2 years, the mess just continued to accumulate in this space, but it's also what helped kickstart me into doing some more home projects. But now that I have most of this closet finally cleaned out, then I can start putting those little bins that are labeled with those elephant tracks back up here.
It's all about us. It's all about us.
So I mentioned before that we go to a ton of birthday parties, and basically what this is just extra gifts that I have on hand in case we have to head out somewhere and I didn't have time to go to the store beforehand. I can grab a gift, I can grab a gift box, and then head out right before the party. Is anyone else kind of last minute like that, or do you plan accordingly? Let me know in the comments below.
We won't regret it. So come with me, maybe we're meant to be. A perfect melody. I don't want this moment to stop. Time to go home. Don't want this night to end. Yeah, about time we stop pretending.
So after going through the closet a little bit more, I have another pile of decluttered / recyclable items.
It's all about us. It's all about us. As we're dancing close together, making out, making out. It's all about us. It's all about us. There's a magic in your eyes, can't get enough. I can't get enough. It's all about us. It's all about us.
Now I am on, I want to say the 4th day, and my task for today is going to be tackling this bookshelf here as well as the desk drawers. My final category that I want in this space is going to be office supplies, so that's what I'm going to work towards making this area more functional for. So after almost working through this whole project as well as a couple other disastrous spaces in my home, the first thing or the first tip that I have, along with using some of the home edit methods, is I ask myself the question, what is this space used for? And more importantly, what is it not going to be used for? So in order for me to easily maintain it, I decided this is not going to be my catch-all area. This is not where extra decor is going. This is not going to be a junk room. I'm only going to use it for those 4 categories that I have been explaining in the video. The next tip to help me make it not so overwhelming is start with a space within a space. So for example, I started with the items just on the floor. Then I went through the whole process of organizing those items, decluttering them, and then I did have some organizing tools as I started to organize. And then I went to the next space, which is the closet. And then I kind of followed that same practice. Because I can't get all of this done in one day or in one, a couple hours, that was the best way for me to do it, was tackle it space by space. Next, I actually categorize the items first before decluttering them, because if I can see that I have, 6 staplers, then I can start decluttering those. Whereas if I just pull out a stapler from a random area and I think to myself, oh, I need that, I don't have a stapler. And then I pull out another one a few days later, I'm like, no, I like this one better. Wait, where did that other one go? I feel like it was easier just to create smaller piles where I categorized the clutter first and then decluttered. The fourth tip is that I bought storage organization. I did not overly do this with a bunch of complicated bins. So for example, when I went through all of the gift wrap stuff, I knew that I needed something that would help store my wrapping paper, my boxes, and tissue paper, and all of that jazz. So I looked for one solid piece that could contain all of that. Anything else I had to kind of toss or decide that it's not needed. Then I went to the next category, which for example was crafts, and then I did end up buying some bins and figured out the best way to organize all of those little items, even if it did contain just some Ziploc bags. Now for the office supplies, I got a couple of these trays from Target. They're literally just a couple dollars, and because these drawers are not very deep, I needed something very thin but would also help separate the items that I needed in the drawer. And my final tip is to not stress or overthink about it. You can always go back and change something if you don't like it later on. I never thought that I'd be able to enjoy this room because no matter what I did, it would just keep getting recluttered until I just avoided it altogether. But now I put in place some systems that work, and I know that I'm going to be able to maintain. But make sure that you stick around for the next couple of minutes because I have some awesome before and after pictures to show you. You probably don't remember how bad this space was in the beginning, but I'll show you a little side-by-side comparison. I'm just going to finish getting the rest of the stuff out of this room, kind of vacuum and pick up a little bit, and then show you my last decluttered pile. If you're not subscribed, I would love to have you join this awesome community. Trust me, we have a lot of fun. And thank you guys so much for watching. Now, here are the before and afters.
I pull into your driveway, it's a Saturday night. You look like $1,000,000 wearing that dress I like. You're smiling, but there's something missing in your eyes. Girl, I can tell that you have something on your mind. But I will make you forget all your sorrows. Let go like there's no tomorrow. Let's have a drink, just relax, all your problems will fade. If you're ready for a good time, count on me. There's a party in the backyard, dance your problems away. I'm all about the good vibes, I know you're all about the good vibes. Do you know how much I love you, wanna see you smile? Where's that happy girl that I know with a heart on fire? I'll do anything to make it fine, but I can tell that you have something on your mind right now. But I will make you forget all your sorrows. Let go like there's no tomorrow. Let's have a drink, just relax, all your problems will fade. If you're ready for a good time, count on me. There's a party in the backyard, dance your problems away. I'm all about the good vibes, I know you're all about the